Welcome to Work Hard. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Jason.
Now this is podcasting.
The sun is rising on a new day. We have been in a brief, small, restful hiatus. Work Hard is returning. We were gone, and now we're back, baby. The ice has melted, the snow is gone, and we have come before you in a glorious moment of reunion to marinate, so you can hear our voices.
There it goes.
So that you can hear our voices. I'm going to serenade.
You kept that up for a lot longer than I thought you would.
I'm not going to marinate you. I am going to marinate you in the supple sounds of my wonderful voice. I was playing video games with a stranger the other day, and he said that I have a really wonderful voice.
Nice.
And he said it so many times it got a little gay.
He's like, no homo, bro.
Yeah. Welcome, one and all, back to the greatest show on earth. Work Hard, baby. We were gone. We had a little bit of ice, and we're not equipped for ice down here in Texas. So it totally shuts everything down. So Jason and I literally physically could not get to each other to record an episode. Now, if you want to talk about maybe work ethic, I was here in this house where the studio was, and I could have just shot an episode by myself. But those are terrible, and we found that out the hard way.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I actually need Jason. So I just didn't even try. Guys, thank you for spending the next 20 to 25 to 30 minutes with us. It is going to be a valuable 20 minutes. Now, I know I've spent 5 minutes just doing the intro here.
You keep
but
talking,
the
I'm
rest...
going to grab my notepad.
Okay, Jason's going to grab his notepad. While Jason's grabbing his notepad, I'm going to tell you about today's episode. We're talking focus, baby. Something I've been... most of the topics that we pick because they're things that not necessarily we've been like thinking about a lot, but like things that have been they've directly applied to some aspect of our life. And I've had focus really kind of at the forefront of I've had to make some decisions. Some things have had to die in my life, which is fine.
Like cacti.
Oh yeah. Yep. Shout out my wife, the Goebbels of cactuses. Was Goebbels the propagandist?
There's our title. The Goebbels
of cacti. Yeah, the Goebbels of cacti. Which one was the one that was doing the pogroms that Hitler had to write a letter to be like, bro, chill out?
I don't know.
There was Hitler had to write a letter to one of his lieutenants or whatever, and was like, dude, you have to stop. You can't shoot Jewish children in the face in front of everyone. That was like literally the letter he had to write.
Hitler was like, too much.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, which I think whatever.
He out-Hitlered Hitler.
Well, I think Hitler was kind of a normal guy. I think he kind of saw the Jews as bad, but in the same way that like many of our friends do. Not many of our friends, a couple of our friends. I don't think that he was like, what? You don't want to do this? Look it up. All right, go watch. What is his name? Joel, the pastor.
Webben.
Go watch a Joel Webben, a podcast episode. He'll talk about it. He talks about it in a pretty good way, actually, pretty level-headed way. Which is that Hitler was obviously evil, but he just probably wasn't like a insane psychopath like everyone He wasn't like an actual
Like some sort
supervillain.
of like sadist who wanted to make people suffer for the sake of suffering. Is
Yeah.
that the distinction
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
making?
He was, and he was.
He was evil in the sense of wanting to exterminate people, but he wasn't
Well, he
evil in
didn't
the
wanna
sense of wanting to.
We're gonna
Okay.
start. We're gonna start. Yeah, we're gonna
I
lose
was like,
an
that
episode.
you
We're gonna lose the
opened a
episode. I know,
whole Pandora's
I'm
box.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Just disregard
Bad joke,
all of
yeah,
that. That's
yeah. Bad. Yeah, it was a funny joke. Bad joke in the sense that it opened. Up
Also,
the whole
a
thing. We're
bunch
not
of our
trying
friends don't believe. You
Yeah.
just smeared a large group of people.
That's I know. I corrected myself. A bunch of our friends do not. A couple of our friends, me,
Me,
anyways.
myself, and I.
me, and like one of our other friends. Anyways,
Have some concerns.
yeah, we have some concerns. I've got a couple questions. Why are you guys always dancing?
So focus.
Yeah, so focus. Hey, speaking of talking about focus, let's focus
Something
on
we struggle with here.
Yeah,
We're just like you.
yeah.
That's why you listen.
Focus. That is. So I don't mean like in a micro sense. I don't mean like when you're sitting at your desk and you want to look at Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and you need to be working. That's not what I mean. I mean like in a macro sense in your life, picking priorities and then staying focused on those priorities and letting other things fall to the wayside. I think that there's this is why I believe this is a huge trap, because there's a trap I have fallen into like so many times over and over again, and it's delayed. It's delayed my life for real. Not focusing has delayed the progress in my life more than when I was a drug addict. And that's not, I'm not being hyperbolic.
Not exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating. Trying to do too many things at one time is like, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're definitely getting all 3 episodes out of this, by the way. And now my mind is running, but really, this is good. Okay. So listen, I'm not going to break these down. So you guys know that we're doing these kind of 3 episodes at a time kind of thing.
Yeah, so this will be part 1
this will be part
of
one.
the focus series.
Yeah, and so we in the past we kind of broken it down. I'm not going to break it down. This is going to be a little bit more off the cuff, but I promise well, not me. Jason is going to keep us tightened up enough that it will add value. So focus. So this is a really, really big deal, and you can really lose a ton of time to being scattered. So when I was 24. That was when that was kind of the age when my life went from this like ball of chaos. So if you picture this like a oil spill or something, and it's just completely, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a mess. And then like somebody comes in and like pulls or whatever, and it starts to take a shape and move in one direction. 24 is when that ball of chaos started like forming into a human life that made sense. But that was like the beginning. So there was mostly chaos, tiny bit of order. And the catalyst for that was that I got married to my wife and I had to grow up.
That will do it.
Yeah. And so
You got to grow up enough to attract the woman,
right.
and then you grow up a whole lot more when you actually have to care for the woman in real life, in
Right.
real time.
Yeah.
You're there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're off working for her all the time.
Yeah. There's no way out of that one. So, but okay. So I'm going to, every moment previous to that, I think there, well, no. Oh my gosh, this is actually a well of stuff. Okay. Let me back up even further than 24. I had an idea when I was a teenager that I wanted to do something. That was it. That was the idea. Okay. Very unfocused.
A little vague.
A little vague. Now that idea evolved over time, and by the time I got to college, I wanted to be a writer and a comedian. And so I was going to go to get a creative writing degree. Thank goodness I did not do that. But I was going to get a creative writing degree and go to New York and write on sitcoms and do stand-up in New York. And that evolved eventually into I was going to be a reporter, a writer, and a reporter, and a political pundit, and whatever, yada, yada, yada. And then I met my wife and had to get serious, and then I was going to be a sales guy, and then I was going to be a fighter because I started training, and I was very good at it, and I was still young enough that I could I can scrape a living out of this, which was a retarded, that is the dumbest thought I had. Of all the thoughts I had during that entire time of what am I going to do? The dumbest one was I'm going to be a fighter by far. But listen, so the one of the reasons why I had I felt very disenfranchised and I had a substance abuse problem was because I was really spun out about not knowing what I was going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that'll give you a crazy anxiety. Having no purpose or direction.
Yeah.
Every guy feels that.
Yeah.
Even if they can't pinpoint it, I think you just feel anxious.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I had no focus.
I think that's why the military is such a helpful thing for some guys who don't have a different direction, but it gives them a purpose and a drive and a mission and honor and glory that has all of that wrapped up into it. I'm going to be a soldier. I'm going to be a Marine, and I will serve a greater purpose than myself.
Right. Yeah, or you have sports, you can't, I can't drink tonight, guys, you're at high school, your boys want to go drive around and drink beer or whatever. You're like, guys, I got a game. I got to be at practice in the morning. Can't, right? It's like, if you have something that pulls your focus, all of your energy in one direction towards that thing, everything else falls to the wayside. And, because I had nothing, I didn't have something like that. Mine became getting as high as possible and getting girls to send me naked pictures of themselves. That was it. That was my whole focus. And so school went to the wayside. Everything else went to the wayside.
Just forms of
hedonism.
Entertaining. Yeah, hedonism.
I just had nothing. So why not just feel good?
Right.
Yeah. And
you're going to dull the pain of an anxiety that you feel from not having anything to work towards by doing fleshly desire stuff.
Right, yeah. I can't. How can I be anxious if I'm so drunk I can't feel anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was my life for a long time. And then I got saved, and that's the ultimate focus. That's the thing that above all else will be well, I can't do that because Christ has called me to something greater. So I can't be a degenerate retard. It's a despicable disgrace to God's image. And so you can, it's kind of a cop out to be oh, well, just be a believer. The Bible will be the thing that, whatever, full stop, episode ends here, just become a believer and then you'll be focused. Well, okay. Yes, in some sense, but sanctification is a process and it takes time.
Yeah. There's not an instant now I'm good.
Yeah. Now I'm good.
You definitely need the blueprint of how you should be operating in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't give you career choices and all that.
Yeah. I still, after I for about 3 years after I got saved, I still did coke all the time. And I knew I shouldn't, I went from being who cares? I'm just do whatever I want to being I should stop doing this.
Stop doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just had that thought for 3 years. And then I just stopped one day because God was all right, you're done with that. So I'm ready for you to be done.
Next.
Yeah. Next.
Next hill to climb.
Yeah. And so, so I had no focus in life leading up to being saved. Then I had a little bit of focus. And as I got a little bit of focus, my priorities were still not on, I didn't have a total focus on a thing, on a specific, this is the path of my life. I had a focus on a series of values that I now have that I didn't have before. And anything that compromised those values, that's what started giving me anxiety. As opposed to being I don't know what I'm going to do. Because now, maybe I don't know what I'm going to do necessarily, but I certainly know what I ought not do. And that's way better than just no guardrails at all. is like, well, at least I know what I shouldn't do. I don't know what I'm going to do, but at least I know what I shouldn't.
Yeah.
And
we'll start there.
Which actually, that was like almost kind of worse, because now I have the anxiety of not knowing what to do, but I also have the anxiety
not having the dulling effects of hedonism to coast you through it.
Yeah, and also now the hedonism makes me feel bad while I'm doing it.
Yes.
Before
it's
I was
not even helpful anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't even. I just
it's not therapeutic.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bunch of cocaine and then going to the bathroom and going, what am I doing? Why am I like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the Lord kind of, and maybe this is for my own good or for everyone's own good, that the Lord brings you along slowly, because it would probably kill you to do it all at once. Yeah. But he
like
brought me
throwing
along.
hot water in a cold glass jar.
Yeah. Yeah, just shatter it completely. Whoops, I just extinguished that entire soul. Whoops. Yeah. So it was over, I got saved when I was 21. It was over, of course, like 3 years that I tightened up enough to, at least from the outside looking in, people would be like, well, that's a functioning member of society. As before, people would be like, that's just literally a ball of chaos. Get this person away from me. Yeah. This is just a violent drug addict. And so I was very, very disorganized and wasted a ton of time, right? Like a lot of guys get out of high school and they have, well, even in high school, they have sports, or they have band, or they have whatever thing it is. You're focused on getting into a good college. Maybe your focus is, and for a lot of kids, it seems like the focus is figuring out what they want to do. And that doesn't necessarily make them anxious. They're just trying out different stuff. But I didn't have any of that. And so I was very, very disorganized, very unfocused. My attention was everywhere. And so that's an extreme example, right? Obviously, most of our listeners are not going to be, in high school, dropping out of high school, skipping class, drinking liquor in the middle of class out of a
paper bag.
Out of like a water bottle. Yeah. I used to hit the root beer and whiskey in a Whataburger cup.
Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Root beer just smells like whiskey, so you can't tell.
Gotcha.
So most kids obviously are not doing that, right? They're not as disorganized as I was. So maybe more normal experience is what I had from like 24 on. So okay. I get married. I start, the anxiety and pain of having no direction gets turned up to 11, bigly.
Okay.
And so that kind of became the focus of my life. Was figuring out what to do. And I called this guy that's my mentor. That's when I found him. Started interacting with him. It was right after I got married. And that's been kind of the operative, that's been God's main process to kind of move me along in life, is EMDR and this sort of environment that I have with this gentleman. And everyone's will be different. There's a lot of guys I know who find something that they love, or find something that at least they don't hate, that they're good at, and that really energizes them. And you watch them stop messing around all the time.
Okay.
All of a sudden your boy who you used to go drinking with, or used to whatever version of slacking off you're doing. If you're not a drinker and you spend too much time playing Dungeons and I don't know, like whatever your thing is, playing video games till 2 a.m. and then all of a sudden your boy is like, guys, I gotta be up early to do this thing. I gotta go to bed. And you're like, what, why, whatever. And it's shocking to you. It's because that guy found a focus. And so everything else gets deprioritized.
Right.
And that thing is now the priority.
It's that the guy finds a good girl or whatever.
Yeah.
And then stops hanging out all the time, no longer coming out on the weekends.
Yeah.
That almost cliche kind of thing. Like, well, we never see him anymore. Never see Henry anymore because
he's Pee-wee now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe, but also maybe he's just focused in the right direction.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he just found a good girl and he's trying to get
Maybe
married.
it's actually a good girl. Could be the opposite, where he is actually whipped.
Yeah.
And is getting his life run. That's a fine line in some.
Totally possible, and it's well. Here's what
hard to tell on the outside. If
outside
you
looking in,
don't
you'll
know.
have no idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you know her well and see them interacting. But
yeah. So there's this.
Yeah, I stopped going to bars. Right.
Yeah.
I used to go to bars pretty frequently. I'd spend, close down the bar within walking distance of the place I lived at.
Yeah.
And then got more serious and met my wife and stopped going, and then was greeted with some coolness the next time I popped around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was no longer in. I was not part of the in group.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, because a bunch of people who don't have a lot going on are not going to take too kindly of somebody who has focus.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, we are at 25 minutes. Granted.
All right. So we'll take this into the next episode, but here's we're laying the groundwork here, which is that focus can be your sort of antidote to chaos, finding a thing that you care very deeply about and are willing to sacrifice other things for.
Right. Peripheral things.
Yeah,
things that will
things.
become peripheral that were your whole world that you would immerse yourself in.
Right. Yeah.
Drugs, women, video games.
Yeah.
Whatever
it is. Yeah.
D&D.
Just time wasters. Yeah. Just call them time wasters. Things that are not going to materialize.
Even if they're not actually morally wrong. You're just
wasting
some of them
time.
are and some of them aren't.
Yeah. They're just time wasters. And so focus can help you can really, for a man. I don't know how true this is for women, because women they're very,
more widespread.
Widespread, broader thinkers. They want.
They're just more broad.
Yeah, they're more broad. So we call them the broads.
That's not why, but
yeah. So women want to track a bunch of different, narrative threads, and they want to keep a track of a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah,
for men,
it's exhausting.
You need boxes. You need simplicity. You need discipline, and I don't think discipline. I think Jocko Willink is a retard when it comes to talking about discipline. That's not. You don't get discipline by forcing it on yourself. You get discipline from caring about something intensely.
And he cares about fitness or whatever it is.
Yeah, he just cares. Yeah. I've talked about this. He just cares about those things a lot.
Yeah. So that's his focus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. So that's the groundwork.
Yeah. Join us next week for the next part of the Focus series.
Yeah, we're talking about focus. We're talking about how focus can keep you from wasting time. How do you get focus? Where does it come from? What's the whatever, you guys get it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
No, we didn't do our sign-off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't.
Sorry, it's been a month since we recorded.
We're out of practice.
Holy cow.
Guys, listen. Fall on your knees before the creator of the universe. Beg for forgiveness. Repent and believe the gospel. Christ is king. If you do not have a woman, please go to a church. Find a woman. Marry her.
And have some babies.
Raise those children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. Use the catechisms to do so. It is a phenomenal tool. We love you. We are praying for you. We literally just prayed for you. We are praying for you. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.